Hello everyone, welcome back. Bex here. It's been a while. I have not posted a video in about 4 months, and for good reason. I moved, and then I also traveled 3 times since I last posted a video on some small and big trips. So I've been busy. I've been doing fun things in life, and I have been keeping up with BookTube. I have been watching videos and commenting occasionally, but I just haven't been uploading anything. So I figured today to sort of ease myself back into this process, because I think this is the longest break that I have ever taken. I wanted to do a short and sweet tag. This is the Library Lovers book tag. I saw Plots with a Twist do this a while back. Usually when I see a cool tag, I just save it in a document on my laptop for times like this, when I have an idea of sort of what I want to film, but I just need an idea of what exactly it's going to be. So I saw them do this however many months ago, could have even been a year ago, and I thought it would be fun to do. The original creator of the tag is Pie and Books, so if that video is still up, I will link that as well for you to watch. The reason I chose the Library Lovers book tag is because I have been utilizing my library a fair amount again recently. For example, I have 2 physical books out currently and an audiobook on my phone because I'm reading for the semifinals of the BookTube prize, and so often when I read for that, I utilize my library as much as possible because I don't typically own those books, and if I don't have to spend the money to buy them, that's great. I'm reading for the nonfiction round, and I will eventually, hopefully, the plan is to have a video once that's all wrapped up at the end of July. I will do a review video of the 6 books that I have to read. So that's something in the future that I know I wanted to do, but in the meantime, let's do this tag. The first question is, how often do you visit your local library? I do visit it frequently, but I feel like it comes in waves. So there are times, like during the BookTube prize, where I'm there multiple times a month because I'm trading out books, picking up new ones, etc. And then there are other times where maybe once a month, or maybe I'm just borrowing an audiobook and I'm not actually going to the physical location. So I'd say on average 12 times a year, but some months are probably a bit heavier than others where I'm not going at all for a while and then I'm going a bunch. Question number 2, are you the type of person who checks out more books than you know you can read, or are you someone who only checks out the exact amount of books you intend on reading before they are due? These days I am going there for a specific reason. I have something I know I want to get, and I rarely randomly grab something else. Backtrack, 10 years ago when I was still in university, and back to like when I was a child, I would just go to the library and see what I saw and pick up anything that caught my fancy, and most of the time I would try to read all of them, but I wouldn't feel guilty if I didn't necessarily get to all of them. But I think now, just because I'm so much more of an adult, I have that 9-to-5 job, I have other responsibilities. When I go to the library, I have an exact idea of what I'm gonna get, and I rarely deviate. Question 3 is, how old were you when you got your first library card? I have been going to the library for as long as I can remember, so although I don't know exactly how old I was, I imagine I was at whatever age my local library, the Burnham Memorial Library, let you get your own library card. So I would imagine like 12 years old, maybe? I remember what my library card looked like back in those days. It was like a blue piece of paper, had my name on it, I imagine it had some sort of number on it, and then it was just laminated. And then they just cut it out on the laminate. So I remember I had that library card for a while. I know that I was going to the library from a young age. I remember being in the children's section and whatnot, so I know that as soon as I was able to get my own library card, I would have gotten one. Question 4, do you go to your library looking for a particular book, or do you check out anything that piques your interest? I sort of already covered this in question 2, kind of bled those 2 questions together a bit, but these days I always go with a particular book in mind. I don't just go to wander around because I have so many books on my own shelves to read that I'm not necessarily in need of anything. However, when I get there, sometimes, rarely, I will grab something else, and not necessarily even a book, like maybe it'll be a DVD or something like that I will grab, knowing that I've got 7 days to watch the DVD and return it. I'd say these days, if I randomly pick up something that's not the book that I originally wanted, it's that. So that would sort of be the anything else that piques my interest would be that sort of thing. Question 5, do you use your library to check out just books, or do you also check out DVDs, audiobooks, etc.? I check out everything. Physical books, yes, but I actually would say I use my library more for audiobooks at this point. So I use Hoopla and Cloud Library to check out audiobooks a lot, and physical books as needed for things like the BookTube Prize. And I do get DVDs, as I kind of mentioned before. I have gone there and to look for like a specific movie or maybe a season of a TV show that I just can't easily find streaming anywhere. Like, I'm not the kind of person who wants to pay for 5 different streaming services, so I try to stick to one at a time, whatever that may be, and then anything that I do want to watch that's outside of that, I see if the library has it available. So I have things on my sort of list to check out eventually at the library that are just movies and TV shows that are not easily found somewhere else. For example, like I rented the first season of Called the Midwife. I heard a few different people talking about it, and it wasn't something that I could easily find streaming anywhere here, and so I grabbed that, and that was a great use of my library. And like Sharp Objects, that mini-series, I checked out the DVD from the library to watch that as well. I'm currently reading the Felicity story collection from American Girls, and there is a Felicity movie, and my library has it. So I have plans to rent that movie. It's got little Shailene Woodley in it, and I plan to borrow that from the library and watch it after I've finished reading the original 6 books. So that's fun. That's something that I would never want to spend my own money on, but it's so great that my library does have it available for me to get. Question 6, from what section of your library do you check out a majority of your books? So they have examples like the YA, middle grade, adult, nonfiction. It's definitely adult, and I would say it leans nonfiction these days. If I'm reading a fiction book, it's because maybe I got assigned the fiction category at the BookTube Prize, but I've got plenty of options here. It's usually with nonfiction. There's so many topics out there that I'm interested in, so that's usually what I'm picking up from the library. I will occasionally dabble in the other areas. Like back in the day, 10 years ago, I used to get a lot more young adult books. That was during the young adult craze on BookTube, so everybody was talking about a lot of different books all the time, and the library was obviously an easy place to check them out if I didn't want to commit. But these days, it's definitely adult leaning nonfiction. Final question of this short little tag is, what is your favorite part of using your local library? I love the fact that they have so many things that I can utilize, whether it is books, DVDs, audiobooks, but they also have access to other services, which I really appreciate, and I know it's excellent for the community, even if I don't utilize all of those things. There's just so many possibilities there. That's what I love. It's like there's so many stories and so many possibilities, and I love that feeling when you go into the library knowing that there's all of these stories that you could experience. All right, that's it. That's all the questions for the short little tag. I will note that even though it's been 4 months since I filmed a video, this really doesn't feel weird at all. I think I'm just so used to doing this. I've been doing it for 12 years. So taking 4 months off and then sitting back down to film a video wasn't hard. I think it's more just I didn't want to spend a whole bunch of time editing a really long video. So this will be a good refresh back into hopefully filming a bit more in the future. I will definitely not be filming on a regular schedule or anything, which, you know, in the past we've tried to alternate uploading 1 video each week. But as we've gotten older and our lives have changed, that's stopped happening. I would really like to do some sort of video about reading the Felicity series and watching the movie and whatnot. So that's an idea that's percolating in my head that I would really like to film at some point, but obviously there's a bit of work that has to be done before that will happen. If you're still here, thanks for watching. If you have any comments on the questions and you want to share your own answers, you feel free to do so in the comments down below. As always, all of our links are on the down bar too. You can check those out if you feel so inclined. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you later.